Hello, this is Samantha Sokol reporting from the CNN News Desk. New research in Today shows how context affects our decision making. Here's Dr. Itziel Darrour with more.
If you look at the numbers here, you're going to see 12, 13, and 14. And if I show you this diagram, you will see the letters A, B, and C. But in fact, the information I showed you is exactly the same, and you interpret the middle information as a number or as a character, the letter B, depending on the context. Right. This example shows you a perceptual context of the environment. However, we have expectations and context which affect the mind, because the mind is not a camera, it's not a passive machine. So the context, what you expect to see, what you hope to see, what other people see, affect what you actually see, and that may cause a lot of distortions in your perception of the environment.
Darrour's findings exemplify how context can affect our decision-making. While the exact neurobiology in context-based decision-making is still unclear, scientists increasingly believe that decision-making is not simply the role of the frontal lobe. While rational decision-making is the responsibility of our prefrontal cortex, recent fMRI imaging conducted by the University of Pittsburgh proves that other areas of the brain are also integral in choosing between a variety of alternatives. When subjects evaluated different options, their occipital lobes and cranial regions involved in memory, reasoning, and object processing were also activated. This suggests that all of our decisions are partly affected by our memories and experiences, regardless of the context in which this decision is presented. Darrour's two pictures, in which most interpret the first as a 12 and the second as a B, lead us to make swift, no-brainer decisions, and we are confident in our choices. When we make these quick decisions, the neuronal communication between the brain areas involved in making a decision may not be as strong, leading us to be fooled by context and make poor decisions. And now, back to the Sports News Desk. Hello, I'm Dr. Sokol, and welcome to my virtual clinic. This is an open forum for all loved ones of patients suffering from disease or illness. Today, we will be discussing the heartbreaking experiences of both Alzheimer's patients and their caregivers. Let's start by examining some Alzheimer's patients and the nature of the disease.
But my memory, I think, is good. I think it's good. But I mean, I know telephone numbers and my car and everything else. But sometimes it gets blurry.
My memory? I think it's pretty good. But important things I don't seem to remember. If I could, I would be out of college.
I was in denial about how bad the Alzheimer's was, but I saw it progressing. It was getting worse. He was sleeping more and more. He was just like out of it sometimes.
My dad was able to do everything, and now he's able to barely care for himself.
William and Harvey are just two of the 5.3 million people in the United States living with Alzheimer's disease, according to the Alzheimer's Association, and a new case is diagnosed every 70 seconds.
Alzheimer's disease is what we call a progressive neurodegenerative disease, and that's just a fancy way of saying that cells in the brain, or neurons, are dying because of a disease process.
While no one really knows what causes Alzheimer's, some of the signs include impaired memory, restlessness, language deterioration, emotional apathy, impaired behavior, and confusion.
The video demonstrates Alzheimer's is a degenerative neurological disease that robs patients of both their memory and personality. Recent research at MIT suggests that a stimulating environment can ameliorate Alzheimer's symptoms, but no cure has been found. How does this make you feel? Sad, depressed, anxious? These are very normal reactions to such a heartbreaking disease. Your amygdala is the brain area responsible for these natural reactions. The insular cortex is also involved in emotional response, as determined through studies involving games of trust and betrayal. If your loved one is suffering from Alzheimer's, you may be suffering too. Perhaps understanding the neurobiology behind your emotional state will help you understand your own feelings. Please schedule an appointment with me to further discuss treatment options in an open and safe environment. That is all for today, but please tune in next week when we discuss the physical and emotional repercussions of Parkinson's disease.